That was when we had the all the pyramids and all the cocoa and all of that. Now, the president-elect mentioned that there will be commodity boards as a way of mopping up these things from farmers and then creating a standard and so on. How would this be a game changer? How is that?
So this is also, it's a good idea. Implementation again. Now, commodity boards were functional because government was actively funding or supporting the value chain.
Okay.
Because without that support, you cannot regulate. If I get a loan at 50% and I go and farm, you can't tell me how much I will sell. But if you have subsidized the loan, or I have some incentive to say if something goes wrong, you take care of it. So what needs to happen? This is unorthodox, and this is what works. See, we need to just look at political system in Nigeria and copy and paste. Now, when it's election time, we play a lot of religious politics. Now, we need to bring religion into this. How do we? And creatively.
How is that? Okay.
Now, so set up the boards. Put in Christians and Muslims that you know will not compromise to work together. How does that work?
Right.
If you put Christians, they can come and beg from the church and say, please, my cousin, my auntie. If you put Muslims in charge, same thing. But if you mix them together, they are like, okay, fine, we need to deliver. The goal will be to deliver, not religion. The church is funding. The Muslims also, they are funding. Both of them are feeding the people on a weekly basis. So let them nominate people that will come in. Don't nominate professionals. Let the professionals work with them. But we need to come with unorthodox ways of doing these things. And let me say this. Nigerians love business. Now, already over the years now, we've had people with the cash challenges now. Many businesses have been, affected. So if you appoint them as boards and co-op, these community boards, what would they do? They will sort themselves, register companies, that the companies will be the ones, buying and selling. So we need
all the contracts within
we need unorthodox ways to do this. And you see, when we're talking about religion, many a times we talk about the negative side. Our roads are better today. I say that boldly. I travel around this country. Our roads are better under President Muhammadu Buhari. Let's say the truth. And a chunk of the money now is with the
Sukuk fund.
Yeah. So I'm not seeing any Christians say, I can't drive on that road, though. No, everybody just wants good things. So right now, the churches have a lot of funds planning for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years that can be brought into the value chain now. So bottom line, we need to leverage our religious organizations positively and bring them into this play, because Nigerians listen to their religious leaders more than politicians and experts.
Yes.
So we need to leverage that now. We need to bring us together, and food brings everybody together. The food you ate last night. Yeah. The food you ate last night.
I like that.
Did you ask who farmed it?
Exactly.
Did you ask who sold it?
Not at all.
The lunch today, we don't ask questions when it comes to food. We just want to eat. So we need to leverage that for national security.
Nice.
Interesting. Now let's talk storage. That's a major challenge with us in Nigeria. And if we're looking at food sufficiency, there must be storage. Talk to us from that window.
Yes, storage. We have to look at storage from two perspectives.
Yeah.
First and foremost, fresh storage. We are doing really badly with fresh storage. I researched India when I went there a couple of times on potato, Irish potato. Associations and individuals and corporate organizations, are the ones that own this storage. The farmers come and keep it there, no government. They use a lot of solar-powered panels to keep it. There are locations where we have electricity. So we say there's no electricity. That's not accurate. There are places in Kano that has electricity. There's a place in Hussein, I've been operating there for about 15 years. If you are boiling rice, before you lose your last bubble, if they take light, the light comes off. There are Oshogbo has light. There are locations that have light that we should go and start from a comparative advantage instead of looking at the whole country. So there are lights in various locations in various regions. Let's start with what they are producing there, both for fresh and also for dry. But for the dry ones, I would appeal to the new administration to reconsider the silos that they privatized. Why? We don't have enough storage. The private sector can come in, but we gave out the silos. And if it's private sector, there's a documentary online, Water Kings. You see, water lords. They gave the rights for water to private sector, and so they are charging farmers 40-50% to use the water. And so many of the country, like Australia and Co, are having challenges because it's fully privatized. You don't privatize water. You don't privatize water. Anywhere.
But now they say water is human rights.
In fact, in 2014 in California, the drought that was there, they were undergoing a training by the US government. And the biggest dam, they found out that their third largest dam, they are taking water under the soil, under the land. So in the capacity of their third largest dam. So they made a law that water under the soil belongs to governments in California. You can no longer claim right on the water because water is gradually becoming the most scarce raw material. Europe last year. So a lot of things, we need to work with the times and ensure our river basins is the biggest asset government should never, because of the dear challenge we have. Our silos are empty. I stand to be corrected again. The silos are empty. If the silos are empty and it does not rain for 3 months in this country, then we are in for it. So if our silos are empty, the river basins still have water and mother dams to provide water for us to produce. So river basins should be priority, to produce fresh. Peradventure, there's no rain. So we need to build more silos. We need to, all the multinationals that are looking into agric now to raise, exports for forest, let us encourage them to build their silos. And government also needs to build more silos. In fact, more silos is more important than production now. Because even after they produce, there's no silo to store.
Right.
Yeah.
So pari passu, that's the value chain that we need to look into that storage. And the storage should not be all this giant storage. In the US, where we celebrate them having corn and soya, they have cooperatives, like multinational cooperatives, who own silos in various regions to store various produce, farm produce produced there. So not giant things. The private sector, somebody who is about to retire from oil and gas can bring 5 people together and go and set up silos in Dadinkoa and all those places where government has already invested in giving subsidy to rice millers. They've given rice mill subsidy. So we need to go and set up silos there that can help. But that is storage is very crucial. But we should not focus too much on what we don't have currently this year. We should find a way to make food flow. We don't have enough. So if 40% of anything fresh produced goes to waste, we should invest in logistics such that what should waste is moved.
Okay. All right. Now, as we wind down gradually, the issue of research is another thing. Nigeria has done well in setting a template where we even have universities of agriculture, we have agri research institutes, and so on. How do we leverage on some of those research? Because it's expected that because we have those things, it should be easy for us to, translate or improve on mechanized farming or any of the, models of farming.
As well as technology.
As well as technology. So the incoming administration at federal and state need to understand something. There is nothing new under the sun.
Okay.
There is nothing we are looking for that is not lying in the research institutes in Nigeria. So the incoming administration need to tell the research institutes, because we have mandate for rubber, mandate for oil palm, mandate for almost all the crops. Give me 3 projects, 1 to 3 projects that we can scale. And I can tell you, and give them 48 hours. They will just pull it off the shelf and send it. So we need to fund them for the future, not for now. We've already invested in them. They have what we need for now. We need to invest in them for the future. But what can make this happen is to say, give us 3 things and fund the 3 things, not government directly, package it for private sector, and that would help. And technology, the technology we need now is not the big technology. It's not from the advanced country. We need technology to move farmers from muscle to small equipment. 120,000 naira equipment. And not even just give the farmer. Set up the youths to have cooperatives that the farmers will pay, either on credit or something, will pay to go and do the operations for them. We need small equipment. It's working in India, it's working in China, it's working in Malaysia and Indonesia. It can work in Nigeria.
Right, and that's a fine place to leave the conversation. Agribusiness coach and consultant, African Farmer Mogaji, thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right. This is